The iPhone of China was introduced. Huawei introduced its new series of Mate phones with a new chipset and operating system. Let's take a look at it. The screen of this phone is an OLED LTPO screen with 120 Hz that can display 1 billion colors and has different size. For example, the simple version is 6.7 inches with a resolution of 1216 by 2688, and the Pro Plus version is 1316 in 2832. In total, they all have a pixel density of over 440. The RS Ultimate version has a two-layer screen that both control heat and has much higher brightness and is said to reach 3500 nits peak of brightness. Unlike the others that have Kunlun Glass 2, it has a tempered basalt protector. These phones also have an IP68 and IP69 certification, which can withstand water with high pressure and heat. For example, if you suddenly throw the phone into a stew pot, then you can easily take it out. Let's get to the new and interesting part, namely the new Harmony Next operating system and the new Kirin 92 chipset. The new operating system is no longer based on Android and is completely independent, and it's said that over 50,000 programs have been optimized for it. If I were to talk about it, I think it's an operating system for Chinese people, because even COD Mobile and PUBG and so many other games have a special version in China, and it may not be good for people around the world. As for its optimization compared to Harmony OS, the tests that have been done don't show it's be very special, because the power consumption is almost the same and the performance is the same. Huawei's new chipset is an 8-core chipset with one large core with a frequency of 2.5 GHz, 3 medium core with a frequency of 2.15 GHz, and 4 low power ones with a frequency of 1.6 GHz, along with the graphic of Maleon 920, which has a higher frequency than the previous generation in Pura 70 Ultra. I don't want to talk about numbers and benchmark, but I will say that this chipset is something between the Snapdragon 888 and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. And in games, it's on par with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. An interesting thing is the Mate 60 Pro Plus gave 30 FPS in Genshin Impact, and the Pura 70 Ultra give about 40 frames, but the new Mate series gives 50 frames, which is good improvement over the previous chipset. And the chipset consumes about 6 watts, but compared to the Snapdragon 8 Elite and Dimensity 9400, it's no more than a joke, because they give 60 FPS with the power consumption of 4 watts. Let's get to the best part of Huawei phones, the camera. The camera hasn't changed much compared to the Mate 60 Pro. Here we have a 15 megapixel with a variable aperture of f1.4 to f4, which taken unique photos, and it's better than the 200 megapixel of S24 Ultra, both in the center of the image and in the corners, and it's also unique at night. The next lens is a 48 megapixel lens with f2.1 that provide 3.5x zoom, and in the basic model there is a 12 megapixel lens that provide 5x optical zoom, along with the image stabilization. The photos of the Pro model are unique, especially at night, but it doesn't reach Samsung level in terms of detail, but it captures colors very accurately. Finally, we have a 40 megapixel ultra wide lens with f2.2, which is good. Overall, I'm not a fan of ultra wide camera, and I don't care about the sensor because I don't take photos with it even once a year. The selfie of these phones are also 13 megapixel with f2.4, which are very good, but I personally like Samsung stabilization and color more. And in the Pro version, we also have a 3D face recognition, which we don't have in the regular model. One interesting thing about these phones is they have a fingerprint recognition on the power button and not on the screen, which is strange. Even a 100 Samsung phone does it. Finally, the batteries of these phones range from 5300 to 5700 milliampere hour battery with silicon carbon technology, with the Pro Plus model having a 5700 milliampere battery, which is much improved compared to the Pura 70 Ultra and Mate 60 Pro Plus, and has better charging. What do you think about these phones?